Welcome back to my troll talk, guys. I wanted to talk about one thing that trolls do not realize. Their online behavior can not only impact their targets, the people that they're slandering, making up stories about, harassing, attempting to dox, but themselves. But the mind of a troll is so simple that they don't realize that their online behavior can actually lead to real world consequences that affect them worse than they can ever affect their targets. It's important to understand that trolling behavior online can actually lead to real life antisocial behavior as well as potential consequences of engaging in such behavior in the real world, especially at work. If they have a job, it can also affect their family life, their relationships, and other avenues of, I guess, their social life if they have one. Usually they don't. That's why they are trolls. So, research shows that trolls may engage in behavior online that breaks social norms. Usually, this is what we refer to as cringe behavior. They cause harm, not just to others, but to themselves, and distress because they have no clue how to function in the real world. They are literally hopeless and helpless without their keyboard and their imaginary avatar and screen names. So this behavior from them becomes normalized over time because they have a tough time separating between the two. They think they're some Billy badass because they have some kind of identity online, which in hindsight they really don't because trolls have absolutely zero power, but we can't tell them that. They may start to exhibit this antisocial behavior and their trolling behavior in offline settings, which is where the real problem comes for them, where I feel bad for them. Some trolls may exhibit antisocial behavior like not spending time with their families, whether this is by choice or maybe their family decides to not associate with them. Maybe mom and dad are tired of their loser offspring that just engages on offline and online behavior. They're just a total nutcase. Maybe their sister might not want to spend time with them. Maybe they just are cuckoo in the head to where they can't even drive a car. They can't even have a girlfriend. Who knows, right? Because their behavior just causes their brain to rot so bad that they just cannot function. Now, apart from social and psychological consequences that I listed right here, this trolling behavior that they exhibit may even lead to potential professional consequences, especially if they do it at work. Now, this could be as simple as them looking and patrolling people's social media and comment sections all day at work when they should be working, or if they're busy making harassment videos at work instead of actually doing their job. This can often lead to disciplinary action, like a warning, or even them getting terminated from their job. You got to be mindful if you're going to start to exhibit this antisocial and irresponsible behavior as a troll that you're going to piss a lot of people off, and there's going to be eyes on you, and they're going to look for a way to really show you that you're not safe just because you're hiding under an alt account or from a keyboard. That real life consequences can happen to you if you cross certain boundaries. And unfortunately, this could happen to you. I say unfortunately, but really, if somebody's that much of a piece of shit online to be engaging in harassment while they're on the clock at work, they deserve what they get. So yeah, employees, when you sign an agreement to work at a place, you sign an agreement that is company policy regarding online behavior at your job. Whether this is some companies actually make sure that your social media has to be clean. Some people say that you can't visit certain websites while on the clock at work. Like for me, when I was working in an office environment, we weren't allowed to be on Facebook at all during the work shift. If there was any posts that were made during the shift, we would get reprimanded. Companies have these strict guidelines in place because acceptable behavior is important for certain company reputation and guidelines. So they don't want somebody to be a complete idiot and lunatic online during work hours because it reflects really bad on the company, and other employees at work can actually take note and be like, hey, such and such was in the break room today yelling about some fucking gaming YouTuber instead of working. What the hell? So acceptable behavior online in on social media is really important. And if you're too much of a fucking troll to separate your professional life with your offline habits and your online habits and kind of keep everything balanced, that's where trolling starts to actually ruin your life, guys. You need to remember the real life consequences that come out of not being able to separate it. When YouTube and trolling becomes your life, you're going to get bad things happening to you. And it's nobody else's fucking fault but yours at the end of the fucking day. So in today's world, it's easier than ever to contact somebody's place of employment. I'm not saying that it's right to do, but if they're making their employer known online and they're engaging in beyond harassing behavior while at work, they need to realize that they could face potentially huge consequences, not just from their employer, but also from the public. And in some cases, it could even lead to legal action. A troll is lucky if legal action doesn't even occur at their place of employment because of their behavior. Like, let's say somebody works in a government job or somebody works as a nurse or something like in a hospital. There's patient privacy acts out there. And if you're recording them, if you're engaging in harassment, if you're slandering people while on the clock, somebody's going to catch wind of it. They're going to send a complaint. That's what HR is there for. So, yeah, you need to remember that you're normally not engaging in this behavior online until you become obsessed and fixated with people. And then you start to cross that slow line. You start being like, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to talk about this guy. I got to make up this. I got to make a video. And then it just absorbs and becomes an obsession with your life to where it's crossing over into other avenues and it's ruining everything that you've worked hard for in your life. And it's so sad to see people fall into that trap, right? People think that just because there's a lack of consequences online and that there's anonymity, that these people are free to act however they want online. Typically, they engage in behaviors that they wouldn't do in the real world. They say things that they wouldn't say to people in real life, and they do things that they wouldn't do to people in real life. And they forget that the impact of that behavior could still be very real and potentially harmful to others, including themselves. So, trolls who engage in this harassing behavior on YouTube or other online platforms should actually be aware that their behavior could have professional, legal, and personal consequences. So don't start none, there won't be none, right? Disciplinary action is probably the least of the worries that they could worry about if their job gets wind of their behavior, because again, they could get terminated. They can no longer be with the company. And the victims of the online harassment can actually choose to pursue legal action and take other steps to protect themselves, not only against the troll, but the company too, because they could raise a stink and say, hey, you're allowing your employee to engage in targeted harassment towards me. So yeah, in turn, the company could do legal consequences to the troll too for damages. But trolls, again, they think they're being virtuous. They think attacking somebody and defaming them and making up fictional fan fiction and stuff it's just internet entertainment, and they don't stop to realize that they could be harming themselves a lot worse than the target that they're going after. So it's important at the end of the day for these trolls to take responsibility for their behavior and the impact that it has on others, and they need to be mindful of their behavior online and the potential consequences that it could have both offline and online. The actions and consequences of it could be very real and not be taken lightly. And when it's too late and they're sitting here crying on the internet, it's nobody else's problem or fault but their own. So yeah, online behavior is still behavior. And you gotta, trolls think that it might be for a laugh or that they feel powerful from it. But at the end of the day, when those serious consequences come and bite them in the ass, they're going to be the ones that are sorry in the long run. So, yeah, guys, just something for some of you guys that have been getting a little triggered at me calling out troll behavior. just be mindful that the way you act online can and will eventually get you in the butt. So, yeah, grow up.